The Daily Network presents 1011. 10 minutes of meaningful conversation with immigrant leaders and entrepreneurs every Friday at 11 a.m.
Hi, Daren. How are you?
I'm great, Queen. How are you doing?
Great, perfect, and very excited to learn more about what you do. So, Daren, take the screen and share to us what you do and a little background about you.
Okay, I'm the founder and current president of Specialty Beverage Solutions. It's a business we started in August of 2006. We started by being one of the only master distributors of espresso machines, fully automatic and traditional, selling through resellers across Canada. So we're able to bring the European equipment across the ocean and selling it through restaurant equipment dealers, coffee roasters, and bringing it to chains. The coffee industry in Canada is still in its infancy, and we have so much growth left to go, and we're absolutely having a blast doing what we're doing. I come from an automotive partsman background. I'm a journeyman automotive, so that did help me when I came across in managing inventory and turns and things like that, and trying to keep that under control. And one of my customers actually was a customer at the dealership I worked at and asked me to come over and work in the industry. So I started in the industry in 1998 and then started Specialty Beverage Solutions in 2006.
So, Daren, what inspired you to start this business?
I saw an opportunity in how most importers were going to market, and most were going to market and competing with each other toe to toe, as opposed to embracing all of the other potential resellers across Canada. So we saw that as an advantage to go ahead and turn 1 to 3 salespeople into 1 to 3,000 salespeople across Canada. And it was a slow burn at first, and has really paid off in the long term now.
So you started the business like almost 20 years ago, right? Because 2006. And
Mhm.
what was the changes, and then how is like doing business 2006 versus to compare, if you compare it right now to 2022?
Well, I guess it's twofold that answer. One is, how did we run the business in 2006? Well, I started with in my living room, and then my brother came on board, and we sat across the kitchen table from each other making phone calls. And then we rented a little tiny office, and we had a wall of hot chocolate, and we had to unload. To when we started getting busier, I had storage in my basement and a friend's garage and another friend's garage, and I had storage space taken up all these different areas. I'd have to drive at times all across Calgary in the winter to put together one order to get it to Purelator to ship that day, and it could be $1,500 order. So it was how the company started was very grassroots. I mentioned we had a $5,000 credit card. We managed to buy one machine with it. We managed to sell one, and we just continued from there to now where we're fully staffed. We have a marketing department, and things are moving along quite well. And we have several master lines that we distribute across Canada, whatnot. Doing business is extremely different, good and bad. I think we went through a transition of when we got into the market at first, we were able to be just authentic, be who we were, and like I say, it's quite a few years ago, so a lot younger and able to go out and whoop it up with the customers and do things like that. Throughout, we got more serious and talked about growing the business more, and we had to knuckle down and start to act a little more grown up and carry the company through to a point where, 3 years ago, it was at a point where the economy was so busy and everyone was going so hard. It wasn't about who you were anymore, but what can you do for me? So your sales had to change. You had to talk fast, short emails. You had to really punch out what it is you can do for me so you keep going. And, things are going well. Since the pandemic, it's been just a wonderful change. It's almost been a reset back to who are you again? Who are we? Let's talk about families and things like that. So it's been forever changing. The other largest change I made in the business is marketing. My go-to-market strategy hasn't changed per se, and we still sell through resellers, but I have not replaced my 2 salespeople that we had to lay off during the pandemic. But instead, we've actually invested in a marketing department, and we're doing online. So we're doing daily Instagrams, we're doing daily LinkedIn, we're doing daily things like that. We've created 2 additional websites to assist learning about web authority, learning about all these things. So it's a whole new thought process of marketing and building demand for our products. The last thing to say is I'm now selling to buyers my age, sometimes older, but mostly younger than me now. So it comes down to understanding different values. So it's a ever-changing world, and we've had to adapt to all of the changes.
Correct. Now, with that, Daren, I want to know if the business is more focused on business to business or business to consumer.
Business to business.
Okay. And in a nutshell, just give me a quick one. What is the main vision of the company and also your personal vision?
We'd like to continue growing. We have additional lines coming on board. We would like to branch out deeper into the major centers across Canada. We're establishing brick and mortar setups, as well as more marketing penetration electronically. So our ultimate goal is to continue to keep growing the company. I'm blessed with amazing talent at the company, and I've got a team in place that are just second to none. And I feel that the future is bright for us as long as we keep focused. And here I am today in Montreal. Next week I'll be in Halifax. Last week I was in Toronto. So we're out visiting the customers face to face, showing our commitment. And I think that we can quadruple in our size quite easily. We've built this to be scalable.
Perfect. Now, you mentioned that there were so many struggles when you started, but then I believe there's also a lot of achievements. And can you share to us what are those achievements so far?
Oh gosh. Every once in a while you see the big sudden change. It could be the simple one of hiring a full-time bookkeeper, full-time in our office. It was insane. Are we sure we want to do this? To moving to the bigger warehouse. We're never going to fill this warehouse. It's going to be too big, is what my partners are saying. And then we realized, no, now it's too small. So, achieving a level of, when you start, we also call it like working like a cowboy. You're just going hard and doing what you can do. We actually, now have employee manuals. We have policy manuals. We now are, as we move along. I was really happy when I could get benefits for the staff. That was a huge thing for me and a very important thing for them as well, I know. So, the achievements are left, right. I would say about 4 years into our, when we started, 4 years after we started, we landed a large deal. It was worth just about $500,000 in espresso machines, and that really boosted us not only in revenue wise and when profit wise, but also confidence wise, that we know that we can go out and know we've landed several deals like that over the years.
No, thanks, Daren. No, Daren, we have lots of viewers that are immigrant that would want to start their own business, and I know a lot of people who wants to start their own cafe, right? Let's just say I am a person that would want to start my own restaurant. How can you help me with what you do at SPS?
Starting when immigrants who want to start their own businesses, we see this come in. Often we want to consult on, there's a lot of questions, a lot of where they are, what do they want to do, what's their vision for the menu. Often we do try to put in, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? For these kind of things. A lot of folks out there will try to either overspend because they've established some financing and they're spending too much, and there's no point, no need to spend as much, or sometimes trying to spend a little bit too less. So, the biggest thing for us is by consulting with us, we're making sure that you're buying the right equipment for your application your potential volumes, your potential rushes,
Mhm.
and whatnot. We find that a lot of immigrants are very entrepreneurial, and we think that's fantastic. And we're hoping that I totally want to see the rise of entrepreneurs in the Canadian market. So yeah, no, I think that the immigrants coming to town that want to start their own businesses, there's some great opportunities for sure. And specifically in our category in the coffee, we all know that bubble tea is taking off. You see that everywhere. Well, we'll soon see the bubble tea and coffee businesses collide, I think. And I think they'll collide and work together because I think it'll become more and more mainstream. So those who want to embrace both, I think, are the ones that are going to be very successful.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, okay. Now, Daren, what's next for SBS?
We are going to continue on the current plan we are. We have new lines coming on board that we're excited to present and launch to the Canadian market. We have some new products like nitro that we'll be doing nitronized tea and chai and things like that. We're continuously expanding. I think that you'll see a branch in Toronto probably within the next 6 months. Bonafide brick and mortar showroom, testing area, and warehouse. I think that will be our next level of commitment to the marketplace here in Canada.
We'll be visiting that 6 months from now in Toronto, right?
I can't wait. Please come.
Daren, any advice or words that you would want to share to our immigrant viewers right now that they would want to start their own business as well? What can you tell them?
You have to analyze the different markets. I've traveled all around the world, and you have to often people will come with an idea, and this is what I want to do very strictly. And the ones that are strict and not ready to modify a little bit to the market that they're in fail. They do. And we never want to see that. You need to study the market, understand what people are drinking or eating and why. There's parts of Canada where if it's any spice in the food at all, they're not eating it. And other parts of Canada, that's never spicy enough. So you have to really analyze that and really get to understand who your customer is going to be, as opposed to here's what I want to offer. I think you have to have a balance of the two. So be open-minded, listen to other people that have been in the business, and talk to several folks who don't have potentially a motivation to sell a piece of equipment. Go out and visit other cafes and talk to them and ask them what's been successful for them. Last thing, remember your customers, engage your customers. One thing I've learned is customers are 8 times more likely to buy, come back, encourage, or even recommend if they feel they have some sort of a relationship with the ownership or upper management of an establishment. So remember your customers and what they drink or eat.
You know what, Daren? I'm smiling because now I see why you're in the business for almost 20 years and you're going and going, because you are very customer focused. Because I've seen a lot of business owners who just want to, okay, I have this product and I'm gonna sell this to this, right? But you're different because this is my customers, and how can I personalize or really take care of them, right? So thank you
Mhm.
very much for your time, and talk to you again, right?
Thank you so very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Daren. Bye-bye.
The Daily Network presents 10-11. 10 minutes of meaningful conversation with immigrant leaders and entrepreneurs every Friday at 11 a.m.